All right. Today was a special day. I've completed the Southwest Coast Path. That's the 630-mile walking trail between Poole in Dorset and Minehead in Somerset, which is back that way. It feels like the first sort of chapter of this whole challenge is over now. And with the change in weather and the going into completely unknown territory, it's going to get tough, but the pins have proved themselves worthy. I'm just so happy to have completed such a massive trail. Like I consider it to be a big achievement in itself. So, well done me. I feel like in a very reflective mood. I've been trying to think about all the great times, that I've had in the Southwest, the people I've met, the situations I've found myself in, the story that I've been saving. Actually, just quickly, those are the boots that have taken me around the whole of the Southwest Coast Path, but there's an interesting story attached to them. So the first day at the Stutland Peninsula, which is just next to Poole in Dorset, the official start of the Southwest Coast Path, I was just so happy to be on that part of the trip. I was like euphoric almost, just walking along the Stutland Peninsula. It's this beautiful sand beach, and I just didn't have a care in the world, and I walked as far as the beach would take me, and the tide was really far out, so I sort of had a look at my map, and I could either go inland and go above the cliffs, or I could chance it and kind of try and walk around the cliffs, which would involve a little bit of wading. So sense of adventure, I suppose, got me, and I thought, yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to try and do that. Took my boots off, strapped them to my pack. Probably after about 45 minutes of walking, I get to a point where there's just tons of seaweed in front of me, and there's crabs in there and stuff, and I don't want to be walking through it really. So I either had the choice to go onto the really sort of sharp bottom of the cliff, get my boots back on and go that way, or wade a bit further. So I waded a little bit further, but it got so deep my pack would have got wet because it's obviously strapped to my back. So I have to go to the shore and put my boots back on. So I wade over to the shore, scrambling over these incredibly sharp stones, eventually get somewhere where I can put my pack down, turn it around, and there's only one boot attached. No, the boot has obviously slipped off my pack and gone in the water somewhere. So what can I do? I have to leave my pack there and go and wade back the way I came. And I'm looking above the water, it's about knee deep. It's quite clear, but I'm walking really slowly, trying not to disturb it, so I can actually see down there. And I'm walking around, trying to follow my footsteps for maybe an hour and a half, because I've got to find my boot. There's no other option here. I've got to find it, otherwise I've got no fucking shoes. So I'm walking around and I can't find the thing. So eventually I have to leave my pack where it is and go all the way back to the beach in bare feet to where there's people. And I approach this group and I'm just like, I tell them the situation and say, have you got a pair of goggles or a snorkel or something? Because I need to get in there. And luckily this very kind lady gave me her goggles, and I went back and I put the goggles on and I just started scouring the seabed. I'm looking for a boot in the sea. So it's about another hour I'm looking with the goggles on, and I start off insanely angry, and then I get upset, and then, I go through all these really negative emotions, and then I'm just exhausted, and it's just like, I don't even care anymore. And it's just as I thought that, I saw the soul poking out from under this, by this rock. I was like, oh. So I go over there and I pick it up, and it's not my boot. It's someone else's boot. I'm just so angry, I just launch the thing. I just launch it as far as I can, get back under. It's kind of giving me a second wind, so I'll get back under, and I'm looking again. Probably for about another half an hour, I'm going in and out, out further to sea and back in again. And eventually, after about half an hour, I see it and I swim over to it and I pick it up, and it's the same boot that I found the first time. And so I found the same wrong boot twice. So that's it. I'm done at that point. So I resigned the fact that I've lost my boot. This is like 2 weeks into a trip around the UK. How big of a dick do I feel? I've lost my shoes. So I get into the cliffs and I do what any 30-year-old man would do. I call my mum. And I basically called her because my mum has got this great way of cheering me up by taking the piss out of me, which is where I get it from, I think. So I told her, and her exact words were, "You fucking twat." And it just creased me up. And so yeah, I was like, okay, I've got to find somewhere to camp. The next town is Swanage, so I'll just have to camp and walk to Swanage. It's 5 miles away along the cliffs tomorrow, and buy a new pair of boots. That's the only thing I can do. So I was like, it'll be fine as long as it doesn't rain. So I set up my tent, I go to sleep, I wake up the next morning and it is gunning it down. Absolutely pissing it down. And I've got to go. I've got to pack all my stuff up and walk to Swanage 5 miles along the cliffs in my socks. Needless to say, it was the most miserable morning of the whole trip. My feet are just, I'm slipping over constantly. My feet are getting insanely wet. I'm standing on rocks that are really hurting. And I eventually get to Swanage about 2 hours later, probably. And luckily I find a camping shop, and I go in. Well, actually, before I go in there, I leaned in the door and I'm just upset. And I just said, look, I've got to do something unprecedented. I've got to come in your shop with no shoes on. But I will leave with shoes. And I had to go in and buy some new shoes. So these boots have done the whole of the Southwest Coast path. The boots that I did from Brighton to Poole are in the sea. So yeah, there's the embarrassing sort of story that I've only told my closest friends, but it is funny, isn't it? So yeah, anyway, now you know it's not all been fun and games. However, that being said, the last few days have been amazing. So here's a little roundup of a bit of the Coleridge Way and when I get into Minehead today. I'm about 4 miles away from finishing the Southwest Coast path, man. Oh. That's where I came from the other day, yesterday. Gorgeous. I walked up that ridge just behind there. I walked all that this morning. It's tough to get up, but absolutely stunning view once you get to the top. So yeah, fuck, man. Minehead, that's the 630 miles away from where I started in Dorset. Maybe, I don't know, what was it, like 6 weeks ago? Man. I'm absolutely beaming, man. I can't believe I've made it. I feel like running. I feel like running to Minehead. I've got so much energy now. Oh, just going to enjoy this bit. And here we go. About to walk over. That's the finish line right there. Whee! There's the monument. So Southwest Coast ends there, and the West Somerset coast starts there. Done the south of England. That's crazy. I mean, sure I was going to do it, you know, there was never any doubt, was there? But No, obviously I'm absolutely chuffed to bits. It's been up and down, you know. I can't really remember much of it right now. It's going to take me looking back over photos and videos and posts and stuff to actually get it. Fucking hell. But this is I'm in Minehead. So it's taken about 6 weeks to do the whole southwest coast path. It's done now. Just got to get up to Portishead. I've got a couple of days to do that, and then it's then it's actually back to Bath and then into Wales. But first, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have a little sit down and, you know, just take it all in. That's a good victory sip. Alright, next stop Portishead.